Hey guys, and today, of all things, we're going to be talking about foam inserts. Believe me, there's a good reason why we'll be talking about that, so let's go and get into it. So if you're into collecting Sega CD North American games, or even Sega Saturn or long box PS1 games like these right here, you'll notice, these cases, they're like quite thick overall. That if you look like inside these cases, I'd say like that's probably about like a quarter of an inch of space between like the bottom of the case where the disc itself sits in, as well as like the edge of the case of the manual and all that. That as a result, because of the amount of space that's in there, if like these cases get like shifted around often, eventually like the disc may fall out though. In fact, that's like a common issue with like PS4 and PS5 game cases, because it's just so easy for the disc to pop out and all that. But these ones, that can still happen because of the amount of space that's in there. So typically, the way that you would get around that when these were brand new back in the 90s, they had these foam inserts inside them that if they were in there, they would just sit right there in the middle, because it's got like these four grooves inside there, that if it would be in there, the disc is not going to fall out pretty much. That as a result, if like you buy any of these games used, like 99% of the time they're not going to come with these inserts pretty much, because like as soon as like people like got these, they just like toss these out pretty much and not like realize these are really important if you want to make sure like these are well kept and all that. So as a result, how do you find these foam inserts? Well, thankfully there is an eBay listing that I'll link below that you can buy these foam inserts in different packs pretty much, that you can go get as many as like just one foam insert, or in my case I bought 100 total. That's the most that you can get from this seller, as I mentioned there. So yeah, I don't picture to get like that many of these like long box cases, especially consider like Sega stuff for the Saturn and Sega CD. Like most of the good games, those are like $200+ nowadays though, which is way out of my league for now, till like the prices come down, hopefully soon. Probably never, given how Sega stuff is these days. But regardless though, I would like to have these foam inserts, so whenever I do pick these games up, I'll have one that I can just put in there, so that way they'll just be in great condition. So yeah, for Sega Saturn, Sega CD cases, they are like the same exact type here, where it's kind of like a oversized jewel case, you could pretty much say. That, as I showed you before, it'll just take like the insert right there, so it fits perfectly in like the four grooves right there, and there, the disc will never fall out. When you get to the PlayStation cases right here, yeah, no joke, like the PlayStation 1, they did originally have these long box cases here, very similar to like the Saturn and Sega CDs. They phased these out quickly though in favor of jewel cases, as we all know. But nonetheless though, it's really cool to like get these because like come on, it's like full artwork as well as on the back, and you'll see in like later on they made 3 different versions of these long boxes for the PlayStation 1, matter of fact. The first one, it's like this for high octane, where it's just a big like jewel case type thing, and very similar to like the Saturn cases you saw there, that it's got like the 4 grooves on the side there. The foam insert just sits in there snug perfectly. Close it up, disc is not going to fall out there. Another version of it, this is my least favorite of them, where it's basically nothing but just a cardboard cutout, pretty much, of like a plastic cardboard thing, that it's got like a little groove there. She'll open it up like that. And the reason that I don't like this is because you don't want to like open this all the way, because it may damage the spine in the back here potentially, and that for the manual, it doesn't fit in like this area well at all, that it's just going to be loose pretty much. that you may have to like just sit it in there, and depending on like the manual, like it may not be like a perfect fit in there, that you have to like bend the manual in some way. But nonetheless, that's one version that it got right there, and that the disc is always sitting up top there. So the way that I would suggest that you put these foam inserts there is, like, I know like it seems like they would sit right there, but personally I would have it like in the middle, so that way it stays on the disc, so that way the disc won't pop out. And so that way when you have the manual sitting in there, close it like that to where like your thumb like is like still inside, and when you're about to finish closing it, just take it out and then it will be snug it in there. And of course the reason you would want to have the foam insert for in these, even though it doesn't have like an outline for it, not just so like the disc will stay in place, but if you if as an example, without a foam insert, you can hear the manual just shifting around in there. But then when you put the foam insert in there, you don't hear it shifting around at all, just not going anywhere at all. So it's another good thing with these foam inserts as well, not just to keep the disc in place, but a common issue that can happen is, particularly with the Sega stuff, is because that the manuals, they were so thick that I don't know if you can tell, but you can see like it's starting to sag down a little bit there. That's due to the fact that these manuals were so thick and long that the only thing that was keeping them in place was just the little tabs in like the top and bottom of the cases, similar to jewel cases, that the weight of them, because they would like sag down, that the foam inserts do help with that. But the best way to make sure that they don't do that is if you just store them like this on a shelf, which can be difficult given how tall these are compared to even just DVD cases, of course. But if you guys are not aware, that's like the preferred way to store them. But yeah, so that was the second type of PlayStation 1 long box case. But my favorite one here, and unfortunately these are like the biggest pain to take care of, is the one like this, where it's got the actual ridge on it that you would see like on the jewel cases where it's just part of the artwork. But no, it's like an actual, as you can hear, like an actual ridge on the side of the case there. And another reason why it's my favorite type is that you open it up, behind the disc, full artwork right there, and even behind the manual, even more artwork right there. I wish we still had these types of cases for games, because that is so cool. Though, yeah, these are totally impractical for today's standards and all that, but nonetheless, that's why that I want to get more into collecting these types of long boxes. But another good thing with these, as you can see with the jewel case type ones, got the 4 grooves right there. So just put the insert in the middle, and the disc is not going to fall out there. Another one thing to keep in mind if you're not into collecting these long boxes, keep in mind for this type where it's got the ridge on the side, the spine right here, this is like a cardboard type sleeve that this can peel off here, as well as like on the top and the sides pretty much. You do keep that in mind. That if it is like tearing off there, just get like a thing of like glue stick and just like put it on like the cardboard and then just like press it down on it, so that way it can just stay in place and not just tear off and all that. But yeah, that's foam inserts for you for these long boxes. Like I said, I will have the eBay listing that I got these from listed in the description below if you guys are interested in getting these. If you are going to get into like collecting long box games like these for the Sega CD, Saturn, and PlayStation 1, do recommend you get these if you want to make sure like they are well maintained and makes them more complete, because they did originally come with these foam inserts. Just it's hard to like find them if you like buy these games secondhand, of course. But yeah, nonetheless, that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, of all things like foam inserts for today's video. But do appreciate it if you would rate this video, share with your friends, and do subscribe for more content like this in the future. Until then, guys, I will see you next time.